In this video, I would like to show how you can find all angles if the trigonometric ratio is given. So the ratio we are going to work with is cosine theta equals negative 0.8722. So what are the angles? What are the possible values of theta which would satisfy this statement? Before I switch to the solution, I want to show you a sketch which I hope will help you think about this kind of cases. So let's say we have an angle beta, which is 45 degrees. Okay, so cosine beta is going to be square root of 2 over 2. Let me double check. Right. On the sketch, 45 degrees is in the first quadrant. So for second, third, and fourth quadrant, the angle of 45 degrees will play a role of related acute angle. So in the second quadrant, this will be the related acute angle of 45 degrees. In the third quadrant, it will be this one, and in the fourth one, it will be this one. What does it all mean? It means that there are 4 angles on coordinates plane which have got the absolute value of cosine ratio as square root of 2 over 2. However, in some of the quadrants, it's going to be negative, and in some of the quadrants, it's going to be positive. Here where the cost rule comes. As we know, cosine is positive in first, which is all, and fourth quadrant. And it's negative in the second and the third quadrant. What does it mean? Okay, so it means that 45 degrees, the angle in the first quadrant, is going to have the cosine ratio as square root of 2 over 2. In the second quadrant, this terminal arm belongs to the angle 180 minus 45 degrees, which means 135. Since it's the second quadrant, cosine here is negative. It means that the angle 135 degrees has got cosine ratio as negative square root of 2 over 2. Let's go on and move to the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, the angle 180 plus 45 degrees, which is 225, is going to have also a negative cosine. So negative square root of 2 over 2. Again, according to cost rule, because in the third quadrant, only tangent is positive. And finally, let's move to the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, the angle 360 minus 45, which is 315, is going to have also positive cosine, square root of 2 over 2. Why? Because the fourth quadrant is positive for cosine. So I hope this sketch will guide you through any questions related to ratios, trig ratios of angles in the first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Okay, so let's return back to our question. In our question, the given cosine is negative 0.8722. So the steps which I suggest for solving this kind of questions are: step number 1, determine the quadrants. And here comes cast rule again. So according to cast rule, cosine is going to be negative in second and third quadrant. So the quadrants are 2 and 3. Step number 2, sketch the possible angles, which means that sketch the angles with their terminal arms in the second and third quadrant. So second quadrant is something like that, is going to be theta 1. And third quadrant is going to be theta 2. I also recommend highlighting the related acute angle on your sketch. So in the second quadrant, this angle in red is going to be angle beta, which is the related acute. And in the third quadrant, beta is here. All right. So the third step is find the value of beta. How will you find the value of angle beta? By remembering the link between the principal angle and related acute. And knowing that the beta angle is acute, it means that all ratios for beta are always positive. So if cosine theta is negative 0.8722, it means that cosine beta is positive 0.8722. This equation allows you to find beta using arccosine of the ratio 0.8722, which is 29 degrees. Remember, we always round to nearest degree. Once I have beta, it's very easy to determine the angles which I need. So on the first step, I'm going to find theta 1 and theta 2. Theta 1 is the angle in the second quadrant. It means that to find it, I need to subtract related acute from 180. 180 minus 29 is going to be 151. 151 degrees. Okay? And theta 2 is the angle in the third quadrant. It means that to find it, I have to add related acute, which is this one, this piece of pizza. So if I add it to semicircle, I will get the entire theta 2 angle. So 180 plus 29 degrees is 209 degrees. So those are the two angles, 151 degrees and 209, which has got cosine ratio as negative 0.87.